So would you be able to introduce yourselves and what course you study, please?
So I'm Josh and I'm studying a Masters in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, TESOL for short because it's a bit of a mouthful. And that's currently what I'm studying at the moment.
Right.
And yourself?
I'm Nana, and I'm studying my master's in project management. Yeah, well, that's simple. It's not as mouthful as...
Yeah, that's a little bit of an easy one,
Rolls off the tongue better.
Perfect. So welcome, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Could you tell us, just to start off then, can you give us the reasons why you decided to choose a postgrad? Why did you choose to, after 3 years at university, why did you think, I'm going to do another one?
So for me, originally I was debating between, right, do I do a PGC first or a Masters first? A lot of people would do, a lot of people who were interested in teaching like me, they would start with a PGCE and then go to a Masters. I decided to do it the other way around.
Make it a bit more hard for yourself.
Yeah, you could say that. But part of my thinking was, I'll do a Masters in TESOL. I'll be able to, and this means, you know, I could teach English specifically as a second language or a foreign language, or I could, if I still decided to go into primary teaching, could use that to support students whose first language wasn't English. So that was my thought process behind that.
Perfect, good work. Well, quite well thought through then, to be fair then. Not a case of like, I want to stay an extra year at university and live the university life.
I mean, that's a completely
another one, but that's pretty structured. I like that. And yourself, Nana?
Well, with me, it was kind of different because my course was 4 years, and I was studying in Botswana at a university that's an affiliate university, the University of Sunderland, and then I was the valedictorian at that university, and then I got a scholarship. So my undergrad was computer systems engineering, which it's a course obviously on the University of Sunderland, and then so like they thought that what I was good at or my skills would suit this kind of master's program. And then when I looked into it, I was like, actually, yeah, because I did take a 2-year break to work. Mm-hmm. So I did work and gain experience. And I was like, actually, yes, I think that is a good course. I'm interested. Also, I wanted to just further my career. And I was like, actually, you know what? Yeah, because project management is quite broad and it covers a bunch of fields. And I was like, I don't want to stick to one thing. I want to be diverse. So I was like, yeah, that's why I chose to. It's just 1 year.
It's just 1 year. It can help a lot more as well. So you get to stick around a little bit more. Which like.
Might just throw in a PhD.
God, yeah, another one after that as well.
Just tack that on.
Just throwing it. I mean, see what else comes after that.
Yeah,
it never ends. It never ends. Can you tell us a little bit about then? So, what is it you studied as an undergrad then? So, did you study here? Did you study elsewhere? And what did you study? I'll start with you now.
Well, like I said, I studied in Botswana, and I did computer systems engineering. It's a 4-year degree. So how it would work is we just experience different lectures, but then the markings and our assignments and everything, we still use Canvas and we still use the virtual learning environment that is being used here. So basically, my degree is from here. It kind of did feel a little bit like I was in Sunderland because it's just everything's branded Sunderland. Even when I graduate, like, you know, it's got the little Sunderland logo, and I was like, yay! And you know, finally coming here, I was like, why not? I mean, I might as well I had the choice to do my master's there, but then I just felt like, you know what, I would actually like to go to the university and then experience it for myself. So
a full circle.
Yeah.
Moment, really. Yeah. How have you found Sunderland in general?
I think it's quite simple. It's just everything's easily accessible. I can literally walk to the city center and walk back home and walk to campus. It's just I feel like it's so close, and it feels really nice because it's quite diverse and I meet people from different countries, and everybody's just got different cultural backgrounds, and it's interesting to get to know people, and everybody's so open and friendly. So far it's good. Actually, I'm thinking about staying here for a little bit.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, so you know what, I could probably work here and just see what I could do in Sunderland before like getting to the big city.
Perfect. How long have you been here in total then? Sorry.
Almost It's almost a year now. Should be about 9 to 10 months.
Good work. Perfect. Nice one. Well, love to hear it.
So we might get to keep you longer then.
Yeah, it might be even longer than that.
Yeah.
Now, Josh, will you tell us about your undergrad experience, please?
So I studied education studies at the University of Sunderland. So I've been part of the furniture for quite a while now. 3 years, and excellent course. You know, my experience in the Faculty of Education, I thought, you know, I want to continue on in the field of education, and I felt like this was the university to do it based on the experience I'd had with the faculty, with all of the help and support that I'd had, and just the content we'd covered as well, just the topics that we'd covered in, and looking into social issues in education as well, and I thought this would be the place to continue that.
Are you from the area then?
So yeah, I've lived in Sunderland since I was about 9 years old, since 2008. So yeah, it's I consider Sunderland my home.
Yeah, basically. And did you always consider like the University of Sunderland somewhere you'd always want to go, or did you come to an open day and that's what sold you?
So I hadn't been considering university for very long. When I decided to apply, it was one of those moments when I was younger. I didn't think it would be for me, that I would be capable. And I know now everybody's capable. But it was one of those moments. I developed a passion for teaching, and you know, like gradually over time, and I was like, right, I feel like I'm ready to apply now. This was towards the end of college, and in my final year of college, and from that point, Sunderland was one of the first at the top of my list.
Now, we've kind of touched on the previous question. We've kind of touched on it a little bit as well. Could you both tell us a little bit about your course experience, but not just like what you study and how you learn, but more just kind of from almost like a personal perspective? How was the course to study with people around you, the tutors, things like that?
I think I'd say that when I was walking into it, I thought it would be a bit more technical, mostly because of my background. And then I realized it's a lot of people management, and I deal with a lot of people, and it just emphasizes on the importance of people as a resource. So I think, honestly, everybody was just... Actually, my class is really big. Like, I've got a really big class. So we've got like a lot of groups and a lot of, you know, teamwork and group work. So I had to like get into a space where I'm working with people. And I realized that I actually learned a lot, because then I worked with different people. Every week I was working with just meeting different people and getting different opinions, and just seeing what matters out there in the corporate world. You know, it was from my perspective, it's like, this is something actually quite new, because I didn't really look at it at this perspective. Like, I was just kind of in that technical space, and I was just thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to get in there and I'm going to be doing like statistical stuff and, you know, project planning, and it's all, but that's not what it's about. There's a lot of social and a lot of ethical and legal aspect to it, and I think I learned how to interact with people, and more especially my lecturers are very open, and like very willing to you know, sit down with you and get you to a point where you understand what it is that you're doing, and they make you interested in the course. The course actually has a lot of different aspects to it that I feel like it's impossible for somebody who's studying project management to not find that one thing that they feel passionate about in the end, because it's very diverse, and it's got a variety of things. So you can just leave from there and feel like, oh, I want to get into construction, or I actually want to deal with the contracts only, or yeah, whatever, which way you please. But I think just dealing with a lot of people in the course, and also interacting with my lecturers, who are very, very open. And I actually don't have a favorite, because I just like all of them.
I'm glad they hear that. Yeah. I'm glad they'll hear that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's basically it.
There's a lot more, like I say, it's a lot more people management.
A lot of people management.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So a bit of a change, but a nice welcome change.
A nice welcome change, yeah.
Perfect. Josh, yourself?
My experience across education studies and then onto TESOL is that, like, we've you know, we've always had debates in both subjects, really critically you know, investigated things. I mean, especially on education studies, we, you know, because it's such a broad degree, and not everybody goes into teaching off the back of it. You know, they go into jobs in and around education. We were talking about the curriculum, you know, is it fit for purpose? You know, is the things that we can do to change it? Because some people will go into curriculum design as well, but we were talking about social issues, cultural issues in education, you know. We looked at into special educational. We've looked into special educational needs. Basically, so many different areas where we can support pupils from different backgrounds with different needs, and across the board, you know, it's been very. We have had a lot of theoretical learning, but we have had a lot of hands-on learning, like peer teaching, for example. And I know TESOL is a subject where I've been told from my lecturers, a lot of universities, it is purely theory-based. But we've actually had peer teaching. We had a whole module, we did a micro teach on it. So it has been very hands-on, and I prefer that. Perfect. I prefer that hands-on experience, yeah.
So like I said, it's a little bit kind of quite similar to Nana's, and it's a little bit different what you thought, but a nice welcome change. Perfect. So obviously people going into or starting a postgrad in the next few months, obviously in the next academic year, do you have any tips for them at all going into it?
So you can do it. Don't panic. I think it's intimidating in the run up to it, but yes, there might be challenges at times. There is for anybody. I think at any level of study, but I think especially if you're coming to the University of Sunderland, you know, we have a fantastic wellbeing team. Fantastic. I've personally interacted with the wellbeing team, with the disability support team, really excellent support. And I can say from my experience on both of my courses as well, including my postgrad, my lecturers have been really supportive, it depends on the subject you study. Some courses are bigger, but with TESOL it is a smaller group, so you've got that help from your peers as well, and a close working relationship.
So like I said, reach out to the support service if you need to, but also reach out to your peers.
Absolutely.
And yourself, Nana?
I think I'll just say, I think you just need to walk in with an open mind. I'm agreeing with Josh that, you know, anybody can do it. It's not that difficult. I think what we worry about the most is if we can balance school and work. Yeah. But like the university also has Sunderland Futures, which helps you with, you know, your CV and job hunting as well, makes it easier. I've interacted with, actually bother them a lot because I'm just always, before I apply for a job, I'm like, I need help. But I would just say when it comes to the advice that I'd give is that, you know, just come prepared to expect anything, and just try to relate the course, whatever it is that you're approaching, with the real world, because that's what it's about. It's not just academics and just theories. It's like what you can take from this to actually practice it. So focus on that, and just like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, but what can I get from this that I can actually apply to the real world? And that's what matters the most. And I think that's what Masters is about. You can't really ever be wrong when you're at this level of your academics. It's like you just need to believe in what your theory or your idea is and back it up with what you've seen and what you've applied, and then that's it. Yeah, it's not like a test where you can just answer A, it has to be A. It could be A point whatever. So just like keep an open mind, and you can do it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Final question then, guys. What's next? So what are you guys planning on doing next after you've all finished up with your postgrad?
I'm going to work a bit. I think I just want to apply what I've learned. I'm quite excited. I feel like I'm equipped to come, like, to do the right thing and just like get in there, and I just feel like I'm ready.
You've got all this experience, yeah. So you're ready.
yeah.
Perfect. And yourself?
So my plans next are the primary PGC here at Sunderland, and you know, it's something that I'm really looking forward to, getting into. With the placements especially, because PGC, you know, it's very hands-on, very practical, very much looking forward to that. But I feel like I'm prepared for that now because I've got all the theory backing me, and I have got some practical experience backing me too. So I feel more prepared for that than if I'd just come straight from an undergrad into that. So I'm really pleased with the order I've chose to study things in. Yeah.
It's great.
Amazing, spot on. Well, best of luck for the both of you guys, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you,
on.
Callum. Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you.